What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video, bringing you the top 8 deck lists from PWCQ number 50. Just finished, and oh my goodness, this one was an event like no other. PWCQ number 50 went absolutely insane. Again, huge shout out to all the participants. But first, before we hop on in, make sure you guys are all playing in GFC number 21, taking place January the 13th and the 14th. This is the last World Championship qualifier of the season, so make sure you are locked in for that one, because I believe that is the next one. Okay, so starting this thing off right, coming on in at number 8, we got Stevie, Super Saiyan 4, SJ4 Stevie, playing that bread and butter Chaos Turbo. Again, nothing significant, straight up and down, block and tackle, salt and pepper Chaos Turbo, nothing significant to report. We got the one solemn, double trap to shoot, double draw grid, card destruction, double night ass. You guys know the vibes. You guys already know what time it is. Chaos Turbo is going to be what it is. I fully expect this deck to have a lot of participation in the GFC taking place next month that I mentioned, but this is the premier deck of the format, and it will get you some significant dubs if played correctly. Super Saiyan 4 Stevie just so happened to do that. Side deck, everything seems pretty regular and standard by all accounts. Zero spice detected, but still Stevie had to play it well. Congratulations to you for your top 8 finish. Stevie playing this block and tackle bread and butter Chaos Turbo, coming on in 7th place. We got Alvarado again playing Chaos Turbo deck. Seems pretty standard. There was some changes here. You're not playing any Night Ash. You're not playing any card destruction. You're bringing the Kaiku into the main deck. You are cutting Night Ash completely from the operation. You're upping the trap count from 10 to 11. Again, I like the strat. Seems pretty solid, but still very bread and butter regular Chaos Turbo. It seems a little bit more rigid. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more rigid, maybe a little bit more consistent, maybe, but maybe a little bit slower without those card destructions. Still super solid deck. Chaos Turbo is going to be what Chaos Turbo is. No big deal. You guys already know the vibes by this point, but I still like Kaiku in the main deck. I think that could be something that could be illuminated on. All right, moving on to number 6. We got the Warrior strategy back at the top table. The Warrior strategy has been kind of dominating the PWCQs this season so far. The aggressive base decks have been making some serious noise so far in this season. I like what Jack Sworn is doing here. I like the double Kaiku. I think that is now the new standard ratios for these Warrior decks. I'm seeing a lot of double Kaiku, main deck mind control, main deck smashing ground. Now this is a card I think is in a good position for this metagame, because it is still good against Chaos Turbo. It is still against Chaos Control. It's good against the Mirror. It's good against a lot of these other random strategies that can pop up out of nowhere. Smash ground, a solid smasher is going to get you there sometimes. I think that's a good inclusion in this Warrior deck, and I kind of like the 1-and-1 situation. In the side deck, everything seems pretty standard until you get over to the Royal Command. Is a card that will negate all flip effect monsters. Chaos Turbo heavily predicated on flip effect monsters. You got the answer for it right there in your side deck. So I think that can probably do some good for you. Sitting at 1 copy, I don't know how good that works with Jack Swarm. Maybe it was good enough to get a couple of dubs here throughout this event. Keeping Dust Tornado in the main deck, I think that's also a great call, because some of the decks you'll see at the top of this event, maybe Dust Tornado could have been, who knows if how valuable Dust Tornado could have been for Jack Swarm. So again, huge shout out to Jack Swarm. I'm glad to see Jack Swarm back in the building, representing Birdcage, I believe, out of those Virginia syndicate of duelists, making his way back into the GOAT format scene. I love to see it with another top performance. Okay, so we got 49 duelists in this tournament today. It was an absolute feat. This thing was getting busy. This thing was getting busy. Coming on in at 5th place, we got Geronimo, number 7, again with another top performance this season from Geronimo, number 7, playing this Go Control deck. And I think this is very similar to the same deck that Geronimo 7 played last time. It's something very tuned to their dueling abilities. I have tried this deck, and this deck is good. This is a good Yu-Gi-Oh deck. This fits my sensibility very well. I took it on ladder a couple times, got some matches in with it. I love Spirit Reaper. I love the Mystic Tomato. I love the Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. I love the Zaborg. It all kind of works together. Creature Swap is a very, very good card in this metagame. You have a lot of answers to set monsters in this deck, so your matchup with Chaos Turbo doesn't seem that hard to win, and your matchup with Warriors also doesn't seem that hard to win. In the Mirror, you might struggle a little bit, but in those 2 matches that you're primarily going to be facing, the Chaos Turbo and the Warriors, this deck has Royal Decree, it has Creature Swap, it has Mind Control, it has No Mana Crossout, it has the Borgs, it's got Scapegoat Meta, it's got, you know, GK Spies and stuff. It's got it all. So triple copies of Faith, I don't like Faith at 3. I think that it just come in bunches too much. I don't really care for that too much, but you are playing meta, so maybe you can make that work and get tremendous value out of it. And being on triple meta or triple faith, I think that's a little that's a little scary for me. But if that's up to you and it's clearly working for Geronimo, it's definitely a vibes kind of thing. This is a custom built to a duelist, and it fits my sensibility as well. Huge shout out to you, Geronimo, for your 5th place finish. I love this Go Control deck. I like Zaborg. I like everything that's positioned here, and I think this deck can win. I think a deck like this can win. I really do. I really do. Just a little bit of bracket luck, just a little bit of, you know, things falling your way. I think a deck like this is a very solid deck in Go format and can win consistently. Okay, moving on to number 4. We're in the top 4, and we got Ikorina back at it again at the top tables yet again, representing Team Formula again, doing her thing, coming on in from the Ed space into GOAT space. I love to see that. I like to see these Edson format duelists coming into the GOAT world and having some great success, and Ikorina has been doing that. Very consistent player, making some top performances. This time she's loaded up the Chaos Return strategy and doing it very, very well, very similar and reminiscent to what the GOAT format world champion Dingo Sig did, playing the return strategy. I love this deck, and she was playing it absolutely lights out, you know, getting some serious kills with this return from the different dimension. It is a broken card. We've gone over this several times. You guys know how much a fanboy I am for seeing that return for the different dimension, and that thing was doing work, doing numbers. That thing backed up Heavy Storm. You chain it, they can't chain anything. No TTs. You got Solemn Judgment backing it up. You got your trip. You're maxed out on Decoiches. You're maxed out on Spies, and you got your returns solid. You can finesse one of those Zaborgs out of play with your BLS or your Chaos Sorcerer, and that can just literally win out of nowhere. And it was doing that a few times on stream. You were able to see that. As always, the stream is going to be fully available to you on this GOAT format dueling channel, so go back and check that stream out, see where Karina's playing, and go check out some return action if that's something you're interested in. But I think this deck is also solid. I've tried a deck very similar to this, and it just wins. It can just literally beat anybody. So it's solid deck. In the side deck, you got the one Jowgen the Spiritualist, the Roulette Burial. The Tribe is going to be in the side deck. Double Book for the control. You got another Trap Does Shoot again when you're going first. You got the Sakuretsu Armors, the Bottomless Trap Hole. I think this deck is really cool. And also the extra deck, you know, so I like the classy one of Guardian Joan, you know, aka Saint Joanne fabric is going to be in the fusion deck, and I think that's pretty neat. So tell me what you think about this deck. This is an absolute unit, and I fully expect to see this deck in the GOAT format championship as well, and it might absolutely make some noise as well in the GOAT format championship. Huge shout out to Karina as always for your 4th place finish. Now we're at top 3, and ooh, I wasn't ready. The meta wasn't ready. I didn't want to share. Nobody wants to see it. But I'm telling you, feast your eyes on what Jay Hornung has given to the GOAT world today, showing up, playing this nasty, stinky, filthy, dirty lockdown burn. This deck is absolutely repulsive, and I love it. Okay, I love the burn strategy. I love the lockdown strategy, and I've been alluding to it, and in all my publications when we do these reports, these top 8 reports, and you see some of the gaps that are forming in our metagame. There are gaps that form just based on the card choices that people play, based on how top heavy the format is with Turbo and Warrior clashing, trying to get the edge on each other. It creates these gaps, and people stop playing the cards that they should be playing, and they open up holes for a deck like this to come in and make some noise. Okay, this deck is repulsive, but it's so good, and it can absolutely beat anybody. If I put down a wave motion cannon and you have taken Heavy Storm out of your deck, what are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? You gotta figure out a way to get that wave motion cannon off the field in 8 turns. If you just don't have the way, and I got ways to negate you doing that. You're not playing Solemn Judgment anymore, right? You're not playing Heavy Storm anymore. MST. Some guys are taking MST and stuff out of their deck. Well, guess what? Your game 1 is going to be very difficult to beat me if I'm playing a monstrosity like this. So this lockdown, nasty burn. And you saw it to full effect on that stream. Jay Horn was playing very well. I think this deck is in a good position. I think Skill Drain in the side deck is in a good position. I think 7 Tools of the Bandit is in a great position. The Giant Trunades, I'm not sure what we're probably just trying to get that Royal Decree off, even though a lot of duelists aren't using a card like Royal Decree right now. And I think that is another gap that a deck like this can benefit from, because people just aren't using the trap card Royal Decree. So allowing a deck that can play 22 trap cards without fear of Royal Decree is another thing that people might need to begin to explore with, or take advantage of, or maybe go back to Royal Decree or something like that. But those Giant Trunades, maybe you can get those off, 7 Tools, things like that. Maybe you can find a way to put those Skill Drains into the main deck, because I think Skill Drain with this deck just makes it even better. But your main deck in Lava Golem and Skill Drain just kind of don't they're not simpatico, so maybe that's not the way. But I still think a lockdown, nasty burn deck like this can absolutely shake the metagame for good or for bad or whatever. I think it's going to be for good. So hopefully Jay Hornung continues to play. I don't really know a lot about this duelist, but hopefully they continue to show up and show out and become a bracket menace. I want people to see that name, and I want people to really start to understand, like, hey, maybe I need to build my deck a little bit different to account for a player like this. And I think more players can start playing strategies like this to continue to make this metagame evolve. I think that is the way to go. All right, so huge shout out to you, Jay Hornung. Don't listen to the haters, don't listen to the detractors. Keep doing your thing, okay? Playing that nasty lockdown burn. Okay, lock in. We got number 2 coming on in at number 2. We got Fresh IRL making it to the second place finish, playing this Chaos Turbo deck with a little bit of spice in Fresh IRL's way. He had me convinced that this was like a chaos control strategy, even though he's only rocking 1 GOAT, 1 meta. But in the main deck, we're going to put the patent pending Golem Sentry back into the main deck. You got the 1-of Night Ass in the main deck. You got triple Solemn Judgment. Chaos Turbo with triple Solemn Judgment, I think, is the way. Even though I was just praising Burn and how good Burn is, I still think triple Solemn Judgment is still the way, and Fresh is making it happen with triple Solemn Judgment, double Jar of Greed, single Trap Dust Shoot in the main. Single Trap Dust Shoot, you got another one you can go up to, a Sack Shoot. I don't know about single shoot. I don't like single shoot. I love triple solemn, and maybe that is the way. So we got another pretty standard monster lineup. But aside from that, Golem Sentry kind of came onto the scene last season, made a tremendous amount of noise for a short period of time, and then people kind of got away from Golem Sentry again. Fresh is like one of the pioneers of Golem Sentry, so he's trying to go back to it, bring that thing back into the prominence of the metagame. You got another one in the side deck. I think that card is still super good. It's just the Warriors are too rampant, and they got too many Blade Knights, okay? Blade Knight and level 2s and Exile Force and Nova, that Golem ain't doing a damn thing with them Zombiras around. You got Turbo players are playing Zombira too, so Golem Sentry stock just depleted, but Fresh is like, that's my guy. I'm riding with my guy, and I'm going to continue to play the Golem boy, and he's doing very well with it and made it all the way to a second place finish. But huge shout out to Fresh IRL. You know what I'm saying? Definitely good enough. Definitely can get a dub. Probably going to win one of these things very soon. Solid duelist trying to get back to the GOAT format World Championship. But in order to do that, you got to watch out. You better lock in and pay attention to the deck that won this freaking tournament. Oh my goodness. Huge shout out to the Nano for winning PWCQ number 50, playing this deck. Now this one is another one. Oh my goodness. And I know for a fact that this duelist has been working on this strategy for a long time. He's got several iterations of the Rescue Cat Control deck, or Combo Cat deck, or Rescue Cat Control, or Cat Control, whatever the hell you want to call this deck. This is more than just Cat Burn. I think this one plays a little bit different. You got the Rescue Cat, you got the Gakugiri Pandas, and you got the Worms, dude. I got worms.
I beg your pardon?
Wicked Worm Beast in the main deck. You got the 2 gravity binds, the 2 level limits. You got the 3 Nightmare Wheels. Nightmare Wheel is another card that is strategically placed in this metagame. It's in a good spot. You set a flip effect, I put Nightmare Wheel on you, and now you got to deal with it. You just like the wave motion cannon, just like these damn floodgates, you have to deal with it with outs over and over again. You just don't have as many outs as I do floodgates. You got 2 level limits, 2 gravity binds, 3 Nightmare Wheels. You have 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Breaker, 1 MST, and some number of Wing Blast or Regeki Break. It's just not enough. You're not going to have enough. Oh, and by the way, I'm still doing the combo cat stuff. I got Rescue Cat giving me pluses with these Worm Beasts coming to my hand. I got Ceasefire, which was going crazy. I got these Pandas that I'm boosting with these Ojamas. I think this deck is great. I think this is really cool. If I try to play a deck like this, I will misplay severely. But then when you get into the side deck, that's when it gets even more X-rated, because now you got the opportunity to go into this scapegoat meta creature swap, share the pain, Regeki Break scenario, and the ratios you can switch those things up to be so many different ways that this deck feels like a completely different deck every time you play it. That was evident on the stream. You see, whenever this duelist is engaged with another player, what are you doing? Like, you're bringing it. You got Walks in. You got King Tigers in. King Tiger's great against this deck, by the way. You got King Tigers in. You got Walks in. You got Kinetic Soldier. I saw at one point. You got everything. everybody's in. Because you just really don't know. You're bringing in like all your everything. You just don't know how to play against it because this deck is just hitting you from so many different angles. Rescue Cat is a very explosive, underexplored, meta breaking type card that I'm glad to see a Duelist of Nano's skill set is experimenting with it. We need to see more of that, more innovation. I think there is room that this card can be explored, and a deck like this just proves that, hey, maybe if you have the time and you have the ability to do some analysis and you have the ability to read and see what people are doing, maybe you can find different holes to take advantage of and get advantages in GOAT format still. I want to believe that. A lot of people may not believe that. They just say, hey, just keep spamming turbo and you'll eventually win because whatever. But a deck like this kind of proves that not to be the case, because he was having great chaos turbo effects, he was having great warrior effects, and it was just in and out. He's got creature swap. Rescue Cat and creature swap is a great combination. You got the scapegoat meta stuff, you got the share the pain stuff. Rescue Cat share the pain, I've never seen that combo before, but clearly it's really, really good because that card's going to die anyway, and now you can pop your opponent's stuff. I thought there was a last will in this deck at some point. Last will probably could fit into this deck quite easily as well, but you didn't see one. So that is what I think. I think this deck is really solid. I think the player is really solid. Huge shout out to Nano for getting a dub playing this extra spicy deck. But tell me what you guys think about these decks. What do you think about the top 8? What do you think about the metagame? I think it is absolutely wide open. I think there's room to be explored. I think there's things that we can still kind of do to hedge yourselves to make this format really, really cool. I think we're in a very, very cool spot right now. As I stated before, GFC number 21 is on January 13th and January 14th. I hope to see you all there. But from me and from the bottom of my heart, from GOATformat.com, I want to wish you all a very happy and Merry Christmas and holiday season. I hope you guys get out there and spend some time with your family and get your GOAT on in the coming new year. So with that, that's all I have. Make sure you guys go ahead and like and subscribe. As always, I'm JDZ. I play GOAT. So the next time, shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.